Hello, everybody. It's Bob Anderson, and today is July 23rd, 2025. I thought what I would do today, since I had the pressure off me of making my goal for the week, since I did that yesterday, um, I thought today I would spend a little bit more time trying to just videotape me literally trying to decide what trades to take, which ones not to take, that kind of stuff. And then I gave up. I was up I think like $130. I had a beautiful RTY trade I took, 1 minute gold line trade, and it just came down and ticked me out. You'll see it. It's in this video. But anyways, you'll see my thought process. And by the way, one of the things that really happened today that was good is you'll see me focusing really heavy on those north south. That 1 minute gold line trade I took in the RTY was a definite north south movement and set up beautifully, and it took off just like we like, so that we're not having to sit here and look at a negative, P&L while we're hoping it rotates back up and that kind of stuff. Kind of like what you get more with like the red line. Red line can get a little bit vicious. It can get a little tough. I get that. That's why I say you got to give them room, and then you got to look for bigger targets with the red line. Because again, we're using a 5 minute moving average with 1 minute candles, so you gotta. Anyways, but besides that, so I ended up taking that trade, whatever, and I was up like I don't know, whatever, but I ended up getting knocked out, and my P&L was like $130, something like that. So no harm, no foul. And then I go about doing things that I'm going to do throughout the day, and then all of a sudden, I come back and I sit at my chair and I'm looking over at the chart and I'm like, oh my God, I just missed a beautiful north-south movement with conviction in the NQ, and I look over at the ES and I see the ES, was rolled up inside the 5 minute red line, and it's being supported for a long. And I'm like, damn. So I ended up taking a trade. Again, I explained it in the video. It's the last part of this video. It's like the last 8 minutes or so. But the long story short is I accomplished the same thing today. I tried it earlier today, didn't get there, but I accomplished the same thing today that I did yesterday, and that was I got myself into a trade. In this case, it was with the NQ, and in this case, it was off the overnight open, and I rode that thing with confidence, without looking at the P&L. How about that? Without looking at the P&L. I rode that thing without looking at the P&L. I had the confidence of taking it from a $500 target to a $1,000 target. And then I sat there and I kept watching, the rotations and the pivots and the rotations and the pivots, because it was in that battle. It was in a battle. I was on the low side, so I was in profit for 90% of that battle. And then I was able to move my stop into an area where I was, felt confident that if we hold this level, it's going to continue to push its way up, blah, blah, blah. And at the same time, I'm looking at the ES, agreeing with the support. At the time, I needed support over here to push price back up. It was being supported by the 5 minute red line to push price back up. Sometimes it's 9 EMA, whatever. And so I'm seeing the two things in agreement. And then I said, holy cow, okay, now we finally broke out of the battle zone. Just like what happened in my gold trade in yesterday's video, I broke out of that battle zone. And once I broke out of that battle zone, which took a lot of minutes, at least 30 plus minutes. I grabbed the camera and I turned the video on and I said, okay, guys, here's the trade I lost on. Here's the trade I'm winning on. Here's what I'm looking for, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, before I can even get the story out, it shot right. I mean, because I was out of the battle. It shot straight up and bam, took my $1,000 target out. Wow. I mean, wow. I didn't even get a chance. It went so fast. I didn't even get a chance to grab it and move it up even further. If I hadn't been battling the stupid video and explaining things, I probably would have tried to grab it and move it up some more, because I knew the place that it was going. It was going back to the high. And in the NQ, the money can get really ugly. It can get really aggressive. So I mean, the high, back to the high in I'm looking at it right now. This trade back to the high in the NQ. Another 40. Hold on, give me just a second. Would be another 40. 4 times, 5 times. Would have been another about $800. So that could have been an $1,800 trade. And I mean, it ran right to that spot, ran right to it. It could have been an $1,800 trade. I got $1,000. But again, I'm doing the things that I'm working on. I've talked about that I'm going to work on. And that is, when the opportunity arises that I can see that we have the bigger rotation going on, I am going to look for those bigger targets. I did a great job off the 5-minute red line yesterday. I mean, it was a battle and there was a lot of fighting going on, but there was a lot of support for this battle to be won. And there's so many times, rinse, wash, repeat, that I've seen that exact pattern coming off the daily high before we even get to the middle, in like mid-morning, hits that red line and whoosh, right back to the prior day high. I mean, right back to the current high. And that's exactly what it did. Well, rinse, wash, repeat, rinse, wash, repeat, rinse, wash, repeat. Well, if you look at the north-south that happened in that NQ that went screaming through the prior day close and the overnight open, and then come back right into them, and the red line's right there also. I'm like, you had 2 things supporting this trade. I was like, holy cow, the conviction to run it there and then to bring it back was the confirmation I needed that this is step, and then we're going to do another step. And that step was back to the current day high. So I put this together. It's long again, but I mean, again, I think if I show things I'm thinking as the morning's going on, it might help you understand what I'm looking at, what I'm not looking at. It doesn't mean that there was a trade somewhere else at the same time that I completely missed. So what I'm actually doing isn't 100%. Oh, Bob, you didn't take why didn't you take the ES trade 1-minute gold line here? Well, I mean, I probably didn't even see it. I mean, it's like I'm juggling all these screens, and sometimes I'm juggling this stupid camera, and I'm juggling phone calls and business. But anyways, everybody have a good day. I am besides myself now. My total for the day, 873.84. 873.84, because I did take a loss on the first run up on that NQ trade. Because I was up like $150 and I lost whatever it was, 120. I was down 120. I may have lost like $250. I don't remember what that amount was. And then I had the run up and I, hit my money. Everybody have a good day. Bye. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can get a short set up here in the NQ. Man, I tell you what, there's a 1-minute gold line trade that just set up in ES. Shoot. At the same time. Yeah. Anyways, it's not. The pullback's not right. All right. I'm looking for this. So we had a crossover retest, prior day close. I'm trying to see if maybe we can get a rundown. Both the other two markets look like they're trying to go south also. The RTY and the ES. So I'm going to see if I can get this. This is a little dicey for me, to be honest, because this candle's pretty large. Come on. I'm going to give it some room. Come on, because I know it's going to fight me. God dang it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Come on, let's go down. Let's go down. I should have let it go through once and then put my order in. I should have let it go through once and then put my order in. That's what I should have done. That's what I should have done. Come on. Come on. Come on. Playing with fire here. Come on. There you go. Now you're going to run. Now you're going to run for me. Now you're going to run. And I'm going to move my, excuse me, Jesus. If I can get this to break down, I'm going to move my target for more. I mean, I might as well go for some big money if I can get it. Okay. Here we go. Now, let me, don't come back up. Damn it. Don't come back up. Keep going down. Keep going down. Man, this thing's so freaking whippy. Come on, keep going down for me. Keep going down. Man, I'm having a hard time looking at my other charts at the same time. That's why I hate this trade in the ES. I mean, in the all right. I hate this trade in the NQ. God, it's just so hard to take this trade in the NQ because it's such a whippy instrument. Are you going to blow up on me? Because I have no reason to think we're going to do that over here in the RTY. And I have no reason to think we're going to do that here in the ES. Nope, I don't. I have no reason to believe that's going to happen. Excuse me. Man. No reason to believe that's going to happen in either one of those instruments. Man, oof. What an ugly trade. What an ugly trade. What an ugly trade. What an ugly trade. Jesus. Now I'm going to kind of let this sit, just so you know, because we have, I mean, it's not that it's a big deal, because it's not. Of course, people texting me. Of course. You know, I'm sitting here trying to get shit done. But we have existing home sales at 10 o'clock, which, you know, honestly, that could mean nothing in the market, but it may also explain why the ES and the RTY have all gone stagnant at the same time. They've run down quite a bit and then they stopped. Just like this ran down and now it's basically stopped. Now it's just going sideways. So I want to stay out of it because I'm not getting that north and south anymore. I'm just getting that stuff. Man, I was really hoping I was going to try to make this another $1,000 trade. That's exactly what I was planning on. When you're up for the week, like I am, it sure does help me with my confidence of just trying to look at a bigger trade, something where I can, make a good week into a great week and, hope to, not tread backwards. It's kind of hard for me to show you all the screens at the same time, but it was pretty obvious that the press was down in the ES and in the RTY at the same time. And the cool part is like this is another reason why I was excited about this trade right here. I'll show you right here. Okay, it's because of this. See the prior day high over here in the RTY? See the prior day high? See the prior day close? All that stuff is down here. By the way, rotation, prior day close, all the way up. Those of you who've been watching me, that should not be a surprise. You can actually see the Donchian Channel cleared the prior day low at 2100 hours, which is 3 hours before midnight. So what is that? 9 p.m. last night. Touched it, and there's your trade. Anyways, none of that should be surprising, but the mere fact that we're coming back to it should not be surprising either. And so, because I thought we were heading there in a relatively fast pace, bouncing off these red lines. Look at these beautiful red lines holding here. Beautiful 5-minute red lines holding and pushing it down. Holding and pushing it down, 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 holding and pushing it down. This is not by accident. But anyways, because I saw that, I thought to myself, well, and I couldn't see a clear spot to get in. I thought we were running to those lines. And so that's why I was like, okay, if those are running to the lines on that RTY, then I'm doing this. Same scenario over here, by the way, just so you know. The ES, same scenario. You had your way up here, and we were running to these lines. The prior day high, the prior day close, we were running to those lines. So I just thought, well, we're going to run to them. I might as well take the trade because that's where we were going. Well, it just got sideways. Hopefully it comes back to life after the news. All right. Looks like I might have a 5-minute red line here set up in gold. We sure did, looking to my left, we sure did have some respect for that. We got inside it, down it went, inside it here, down it went again. Boy, that's a beautiful one right there. Jesus. So now we've gone to a current day low, and we're at the gold line. We're at the red line right now. So I might take a stab at this because this is oop. 26. Wow. Okay. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. the heck? The one thing I don't like, see this rotation up from here and then the push down to this new low? That's where it started from, and that did not hold here. So I don't really like this. At this point in time, honestly, the best situation would probably be this candle closing up north of this, kind of hanging out here, and then with some energy and some vigor, it pushes back down inside that 5-minute red line, comes back up and sits in it, and then we go short there because we've broken this pivot here. And so yeah, we're dead here for now. I was just turning the camera on in case we had something set up, but I don't really like that we broke this. Obviously now, of course, it's dead because we're north of here, but doesn't mean the setup is dead per se, because we could roll back down inside, create some space, i.e. space on the 5-minute red line on a down day, because this is a down day. We're down. See, everything's up here. So we roll inside, create space, sit inside that 5-minute red line, and then bam, down it goes. Just like this. Inside it, because it rolled across it here. This is a down day. Rolled across it here, got inside it, and once it got inside it, boy, they started beating it back down. You see that? So that may be what I'm looking for going forward. Because it's too early in the day for a rotation back to the overnight open, in my opinion. All right, well, let me keep looking. Anyways, I jumped in this trade here. I'll talk about it here in a minute, but I was on the phone, so I couldn't turn the video on. It's the RTY, and we're going long, of course. And the market's been long. The RTY's been long all day. What caused it to rotate from the spot it rotated from down here, I have no idea. But what I do know is we had firm direction north, firm direction south. So I'm trying to get another firm direction back north. And I'm going to possibly play around with the target if we can get moving here. But we got to get moving first. This technically was a 1-minute gold line trade and a 5-minute red line trade together, because they both met the objective. But the biggest objective was just me trying to get this thing to go long and make some money here. Come on. This is going to be probably a difficult trade for big money. And that's because the angle of that red line is down. So I don't know that I'm going to get big money out of this trade, as much as I may just go to my 40 tick target. I mean, it's going to be hard because because this has not rotated yet. Like, the red line is not rotated north yet. So I don't know that I'm going to get big money out of this. Come on. Come on, RTY. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on, RTY. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. There you go. Let's go. Let's go. Boy, that was a nice, this, by the way, this what's going on right here is, other than the slope of this red line, but what's going on right here is the epitome of what I talk about. This is the epitome of what I talk about, which is, look at how this just made an intentional move and an intentional move. And what we're hoping for is another intentional move that because we found a spot that the intentional move reverse direction. And therefore, we are going to try to take this intentional move up. But I do not, I really do not expect big money out of this trade. So I think I'm just going to hope to get to target. And again, it's because the red line is sloping away. And because it is sloping against us. I think my target on my ATM is 40 ticks. If I can hit that, I'd be just done for the day, honestly. Even though it's only 10 o'clock. I just got stuff to do. But this would be a nice trade. This would be a nice add-on to my week. Relatively stress-free also. Come on, RTY. Come on. Come on, baby. I'll get a lot more nervous if we get to this rotation here and then start coming down. Because, again, why did it pick this spot to rotate from? I don't know. It may be something I don't know about. So I've got to be more cautious as we get closer to that area. If we get there. Come on, baby. Come on. I don't know that we're going to find the energy to go back up. If we just go straight down to the gold line. Come on. Oh my gosh. Come on. Man. Oh, shoot, man. Come on. We're on top of the 9 EMA for the first time, and we're testing it. So that's a good thing. We're on top of the 9 EMA now. We're on the north side of it. So hopefully it can help us and help project us forward. That's our first test of it since we've created space on this push-up. So hopefully, there we go. All right, now we're getting a little push. There we go. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Give me. All right, I'm going to put my stop here now. Give me a present here. Oh, come on. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, RTY. Come on. I understand we're getting tired. I get it. You're pulling a lot of weight here. From this move, you're pulling a lot of weight here. I understand that. I do. I understand that. See, the head is just starting to turn here. All right, here we go. Come on. Get me to target, and we'll wrap this video up. Get me to target. Come on. Come on, Come on. Come on. There you go. All right, we're getting up there now. We're getting up there now. We're getting up there now. We're getting up there. We've hit 30 ticks. Yeah, we've hit 30. Yeah, we've hit 30. Gosh, dang it. Man. Damn freaking phone. Yeah, we hit 30. This is getting a little. Oh, come on. Don't give up the ghost on me now. This is a little different than the big trade I got yesterday. Yesterday, the big trade, everything was in agreement, and when it got into the open space after the battle, all it had to do was go long. This one's different because even though the market's long, we've been trending down. So there's just, it takes a lot of energy for it to go there. That's really the problem I'm facing right now. Damn it. Yep. All right. Well, it is. I said it from the beginning. I wasn't really confident that I was going to get to target. I wasn't really confident that I was going to get to target for just that. God dang it. I wasn't really confident we were going to get to target, and we didn't. Yeah, not good. Not good. Oh, God. Are you really going to run up on me now? Shoot, man. It's just one of those days, man. Just one of those days. You know, the reality of it is I could have just sat at break even and let it do its thing. You just never know. I mean, you don't ever know. Oh man. Now I'm now I'm upset. If I'd have left my stop at break even, we'd be going to target right now. But again, who knows? I mean, you never know. I'm not, again, like I talked about, when this trade happened, I was not surprised that this was going to happen here, that we were going to get into this battle. Because again, all this was sloping this way, and it took a lot of energy to go here, and it's taken a lot of energy to keep going that way. Even though the market's up today, there's just a long battle counter all this movement in the pre-market. It's a lot of energy it takes. Unlike the gold trade that I made all that money on yesterday, that was just a continuation of the trend, the current trend. It was a continuation of what was going on at the time. When I had that 5-minute red line trade yesterday, there's a big difference. Yesterday's 5-minute red line in gold, the red line was like this, going that way. And we came into it, and it was just a continuation of what was going. And as I said, once we got over the battle that this was going to be the rotation point, the red line, yesterday, once we got over the battle that this was going to be the rotation point back to the daily high, and it got into this area, it just accelerated itself up, if you remember. Whereas today, we went up, but the battle started here, not here. And the battle started here because it's taken a lot of energy to turn this thing around from all the situation that the market went through from here all the way down, if I'm making sense. So I didn't really expect much out of the trade, but obviously if I didn't get ticked out, everything's captain obvious after the fact, I would have hit my target and made $400. But that's okay. I made money today. The world's not coming to an end, But, and again, it's, every day is not a big winner. What's more important is that you stay consistent on what trades you take and understanding what you should be getting out of that trade, to identify the difference between a big trade and a not so big trade. And if I'd have front run it, if I would have front this, I said all along this was going to run into problems right up in here. I just didn't expect it to come down and break this pivot that ran it to the high and then still rotate up. That's dirty dog stuff. And the RTY is a little less likely to do that stuff than the NQ. The NQ is notorious for that kind of stuff. That dirty dog stuff right here, where a pivot gets created, it comes down, cleans that pivot out, and then rotates up. I'm actually kind of surprised the RTY just did that to me. Anyways, that's it for now, unless I see something big. We are back inside just for conversational purposes. Let me pull this up and show it to you. We are what I talked about, exactly what I talked about. We are back inside the 5-minute red line on gold, just as I predicted when it rotated up and through. I said, we're probably going to go back inside. Now the question is, can I get a rotation back here that's relatively direct, that I can take a trade like this? Boom. If I can get that set up from here, anywhere in here, but here back into this red line that is sloping severely to the downside, and we are in a severe down day in gold, just like it was here. Rotated inside, boom, got inside, sat here, boom, gone. Sat here, boom, gone. So I'm looking for it potentially to go inside here. Hopefully I can get in somewhere, in the 23 range, and maybe get it down to like 15. That'd be like $800. Be a nice trade. That'd be a nice trade. So anyways, that's kind of what I'm going to be looking for, and then the rest of it I'm just going to probably call it a day on, as the equity markets are looking a little slow. A real pisser over here is the ES. This dog came down here and hit the prior day high and rotated. I'd have to go back and look at the times when this hit its prior day high and started rotating. That may be the time. Let's go over and look. That was at 10:02. Let's go back over here and look. Was that when? Come on. Can you get out of the way, gold? What the hell's wrong with you? Forget it. Was that the time this started rotating? A little bit before. It started rotating before that, when it broke this, when it did a little W, boom, 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 and then here's the pivot, and then it broke it. It was a little bit before that, but it was around the same time. Look at that thing go now. Now it's just making me look like a fool. Just making me look like a fool. God dang it. Because I was sitting there thinking it wasn't even going to run that far. Look at it run now. Holy cow. Yeah. Well, at least I saw the right rotation. And that's what's important. Seeing the rotation, knowing where it's going to rotate, what the results are going to be, who knows? Obviously, this result turned out a lot better than I had anticipated. But again, the sign was big sequence run up, big sequence back, and then woof, we're looking for the reaction. All right? That's it. Okay, well, what the heck? Anticipate, and then you may see reality. Gold, we crossed over and had a pretty distinctive move for a crossover retest of the 5-minute red line. Pretty distinctive move back, and maybe we'll get a good trade here. Short. We'll see. So far, you never know. You never know. I'm still stinging from that stupid RTY trade, man. Still stinging. God dang it. Still stinging, man. Still stinging. God dang it. I let that thing tick me out. And then it went and did what the hell I sat there and set myself up to do in the first place, which was run up through the Donchian Channel high, and I could have made my money. Shit, just frustrating sometimes. Just frustrating sometimes. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we've got here. This candle right here, this current candle that's forming, if it opens and closes and all that kind of stuff with the wick and all north of that red line, that's it. I'm canceling it. It's kind of looking like that's what's going to happen. So I may be done for the day. I may be done for the day. I think I made like $100. I made like $100. I should have made 300-400. Oh well. There you go. Yeah. All right, we're dead. We're dead. We're dead. We're dead. We're dead. Nothing to see here. And really, there's nothing to hang out around for, because I mean, I'm just not seeing anything moving. Not seeing anything moving to be worth risking money on right now. I mean, the 5-minute red line is always, a 5-minute red line setup like this, boom, boom, is always worth throwing your hat in the ring and seeing if you can get that. Because, like, look at this. Like, take this. If that had broken, this little shelf right here, we're in at about 23.20. And I mean, even the low is, 14, so let's just say $15, 415 from 23 to 15. That's an $800 swing. And, if that shelf had broken, I mean, there's really no reason from this cross retest, boom, there's really no reason that it wouldn't go down here. Anyways, so that's it. That's my big my recording video stuff there. That's my big trade of the day. Nothing. My big trade was the RTY. I got shooken out of it. Oh, it was a beautiful setup. I mean, other than the slope of the 5-minute red line, which made me a bit cautious, that was really the only thing that was not a big that I wasn't a big fan of on that trade. All right, bye. I didn't turn this on before. These are the trades I already videotaped that I took and whatnot in the NQ. And I pretty much was going to call it a day until I saw this crossover retest that happened. Well, what had happened? Okay, so what had happened is I had walked away from my desk and came back, and we were sitting in the midst of this stuff right here. And I thought, oh crap, they came up, they sat on top of the prior day close, and they're gone. This is gone, because I was looking at the ES at the same time, and it was kind of taking off. So I jumped in here and got stopped out. So where I was at that point in time is minus $128.98. I can see it right here on my P&L thing. So then I was like, okay, no big deal. And then it came down and sat on top, and I said to myself, holy shit, they're doing a W pattern off the current, overnight open. And so I took this long off of here, and I had been just sitting here watching it. Now, when this pivot right here, this crossover retest of the prior day close, which is what I've been waiting for it to cross over, retest the prior day close after doing the current open. Once that happened and it took off, I moved my stop to underneath this candle. Okay. Then it rolled up, did this stuff, and it came down and did another test right here. And so I moved after it rolled up and broke these pivots here. I moved my stop to here below this candle. And then, oh, Jesus, crap. Okay. Damn it. Oh my God, I didn't even get a chance to do what I was going to do. I was going to move my target up. Well, obviously something happened because the market just took off. Holy crap. Holy crap. Well, damn. Shit. Damn it. I had my target at $1,000. And I was contemplating moving it as we were moving up, but I did not expect it to shoot through there like that. Holy cow. All right, well, here's the thing. God dang it, Jesus. Wow, this is 2 days in a row. This is 2 days in a row that I've done the main thing I told everybody I was going to work on diligently after the 4th of July. And that was, like I did yesterday with the 5-minute red line in gold. That is, enter, feel confident in a bigger target based off of what's going on, and shoot for that bigger target. So let me just show you quickly. Damn, I can't believe that. I don't know if there was news or if it just broke a bunch of, what time was that? 11:55? I mean, there was no scheduled news. I'm wondering if it just broke some resistance areas. I don't know. Anyway, so I mean, ES is taking off right now. I mean, I'm not getting into any of this. But see, what you got to understand is at the same time all this was going on. So let me shrink this. This is kind of important. Jeez, wow. Well, I'm less excited than yesterday, aren't I? Yesterday I was jumping up and down when I hit that that gold trade. Anyways, so let's go over here and look. I mean, so when I was entering, say, this candle right here, 11:17, what am I looking at? Well, I'm looking at 11:17 right here. And the ES is crossed back over. It's still an up day in the ES. Okay, this is an up day. We're north of the overnight open, all that stuff. And so I'm sitting here looking at it, and all it was doing is just walking down the red line, but it kept pushing its way up. And so I'm like, okay, this we have support here. And so therefore I'm going to get in this and I'm going to let it do its thing. I'm just going to sit here, hopefully confidently expecting that this big move up over and this move back down again, north and south, bang, bang, is because we're changing directions. And once they did the W pattern, which is, the down, creating a low, and then rotating up, creating a top, and then another down with a rotation back up off the same thing, which is the current day open, overnight open. Okay, once they did that, and this low here stayed higher than this low, I mean, I knew at that point in time that this thing only had one direction, which was up. That was what it was going to do, was go up. But at the same time, I'm watching all this. I'm watching the ES doing the same thing, meaning not the same thing down here like this was, but doing the same thing, fighting to go long. It got back up on top of its red line, and it was pushing itself long. And candle by candle, if you go back and watch this candle by candle, you can see what was going on over here that correlated to what was going on over here, and then the push. And that it would sit on top, say, of the gold line when this was sitting on top of the prior day close, and then the push. Say like this push here, and then the rotation down, and it would sit on here when it was sitting on here, and then it's like I just kept feeling the confidence, and I put myself at this stop, again, below this candle right here when it pushed up, broke that pivot. I left myself here. It came down, did the same thing again. I moved myself here, and then you saw what the heck happened right here. Holy shit. Holy chibis. Wow. Well, I don't know. I don't have any distractions. I don't have CNBC on or any of that stuff when I'm trading. Because I don't need, again, how do I say this? I said this before. Trade the price action. Don't trade your bias. Remember I said that? Trade the price action. Don't trade your bias. You could sit here and hear something on CNBC and they may say, oh, Apple has highest sales in the history of Apple company. That doesn't mean that the NASDAQ's going to go up. So you could end up getting biased by listening to the damn news. So anyways, wow, that was, wow. That's funny that I turned this on. I didn't turn it on through here because it was like, I'm not going to make this video too damn long. But once it broke this Donchian channel here, I said, okay, let me turn the video on because it's now going to start walking its way up. And it just obviously shot its way up. All right. That's 2 days in a row I've done the same. Well, not the same exact trade, but the same result. And it's the thing I'm working on. Bigger targets. Now, full disclosure on that, that was one of the things I could not really put myself in position to do when I was trading a prop firm, because if it runs up to say $800, $900 and then runs back down and knocks me out at $100, now I've got a trailing drawdown $800 against me. You know what I mean? Like the big problem with prop firms with those type of rules, in my opinion, is they limit your ability to take big profitable trades. That just may not end up resulting in big profits. Doesn't mean you're going to lose money, but it's as if what happens is it's as if you did lose the money when the drawdown's coming up behind you. And, it created some bad habits with me, I think, that I'm now slowly working my way out of. Anyways, everybody have a good day. I am excited. So my P&L for the day was $873.84. And that's because I took this. I did stop myself out in case this thing, completely slammed its way down. I stopped myself right here. It really wasn't a setup, so I wouldn't focus on this. This really wasn't a setup. I just got nervous this thing was going to run off because I was not watching when this happened. My entry should have been here. I should have been protecting this area and watching it do all this. I should have been in at a better spot in the first place, but I wasn't. But anyways, I missed it. So I waited for, this opportunity, lost, I don't know, maybe $180 or so right here. And then boom, bam, $1,000. I became a greedy little bastard. I actually covered my commissions because I did $1,005. I moved it up to $1,005. Anyways, everybody have a good day. Bye.